Hey guys, today's video is going to be all about how to start solids with your baby and what foods you should start with. Jack is over in my living room playing, so the TV is on. I'm sorry if you can hear like cartoons and grunting because it sounds like he's pooping right now. And what is he doing? He's eating Tucker's tail. Okay. So how to introduce food to your baby. Basically there's two ways to do it, and that's through like purees and mash or baby-led weaning. My only advice to you if you're doing baby-led weaning is to do a infant choking CPR course. Usually you should be able to find one close to you, and I highly recommend doing it because we all think that it's never going to happen to us, and it's always great to know how to do CPR anyways. So what's the difference between the two? So with purees or mash, you start with pureed foods and it's usually really runny, and then you increase the texture of it until kind of it gets like a little bit like mushy or mashed, and then increase to like finger foods when your baby is ready. And you can either do that by buying baby food at your grocery store or by preparing it yourself. You can either puree it in a blender or you can just mash it up. Whereas baby-led weaning, you start by giving finger foods and baby feeds themselves. And most times it's whatever the family is eating is what the baby eats. Oh, Jack's coming around the corner. Again, my best advice is to do whatever you're comfortable with. Just because all your friends are doing baby-led weaning doesn't mean that you have to do baby-led weaning, or just because your mom tells you like, oh, you can't give them whole foods, you need to blend it up, doesn't mean you have to. Do whatever makes you comfortable. If your baby choking on food makes you really nervous, then maybe stick to purees. Honestly, there's no right or wrong way. If you're going to be stressed out because your baby is gagging on everything, then maybe just hold off on the finger foods and just do purees. Like seriously, don't overthink it. Don't stress about it. Food shouldn't stress you out. It should be simple and fun. Or you can do a mixture of both, which is what I do. I started off with purees and for about a month and a half, and then I kind of started giving him a little bit of finger food. So I gave him a little bit of scrambled eggs, and let me tell you, the first time he had scrambled eggs, he gagged so bad on it, he hated it. But then the second time, I waited a few days, and then Barn was eating eggs. And he had Jack up, and he was really interested in it. So he gave him a few pieces, and he loved it. So if you're trying to give your baby something and they're just not having it, they're gagging a lot, and sometimes babies, they gag so much that they just throw everything up, and if that happens a lot, then maybe you should hold off on a little bit and try a little bit later, because you have to think about your baby, and if they're throwing everything up, then that could include your breast milk or formula, then your baby might be like really hungry and nutrient deprived. So just watch out for that, and it doesn't matter, like you can hold off and do purees for a little bit and then try introducing it again in a few days or a week or whatever. Also, be open with it. Don't be one of those moms who is in the far east or the far left wing when it comes to baby-led weaning or purees. Just go with your baby. Who knows, you might start your baby on finger foods and they might not like it. They may Jack, what are you doing? Oh my god, I wish you could see him right now. He's like, Mommy, what's this? Jack, honey, you can't do that. Oh, I hate to move because I don't want him to cry. Okay, sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so be open about it. Like, don't box yourself into one or the other. You might start with finger foods and your baby might gag so much and just prefer purees, and that's totally okay. Or Maybe your baby prefers finger food and they don't like to be fed with a spoon. Just go with the flow. Go with your baby. Don't force your baby into something. Let him tell you what he wants or show you what he wants. Again, I feel like a combo of both is the best, and that's what I do. Yeah, just take it easy. If you try introducing something and if they don't want it or they don't like it, try again in a few days or a week or a couple weeks. For allergies, most people recommend waiting a few days in between each new food. So that doesn't necessarily mean, you know, feeding your baby bananas for like 2 or 3, 4 days. You can start with, say, avocados, and once you know after a couple of days that there's no reaction there, you can introduce bananas, and then you can do banana, and then the next day you can do banana and avocado, and then banana, avocado, and cereal, or banana and cereal, avocado and cereal. You know, just mix it up, and then after a couple of days you can introduce something else like apples, and then you can do banana and apple, and then banana and avocado another day, and avocado and apple another day. You know what I mean? You can just the more you add in, the more you can switch it up and do different combinations. So again, I don't think I mentioned at the beginning of this video, but all the information that I'm telling you guys is mostly from this book. It All Begins with Food by Leah Garrett Cole. And I wanted to read you the food reaction or signs of allergy. So sudden diarrhea or vomiting, skin rashes that come on suddenly, a runny nose, hives, irritability, or gasiness after eating a new food, difficulties breathing or respiratory troubles after or during a meal, swelling, particularly of the face, lips, and tongue, closure or tightening of the throat. So yeah, that's some signs of an allergic reaction. So just keep an eye out for that. Jack is trying to escape the living room again. So, what foods are good options to start with first? Almost all foods are safe and are good options to use as baby's first food. It is totally up to you. Again, there's no right or wrong. It is recommended by Health Canada and the American Academy of Pediatrics to introduce iron-rich foods such as legumes, meats, and fortified cereals as baby's first foods, since at 6 months, baby's stores of iron start to go down. I had to go get little man because he's getting cranky. Another tip, don't worry about introducing vegetables before fruits. Like some people say, make sure you introduce vegetables first, because if not, then they won't like them. They'll always want fruit. And that there is no evidence to support that. And actually, breast milk is typically sweeter than most fruits, so really don't worry about it. Just remember to offer a variety of different foods so that your baby gets lots of different tastes and textures, and they're not just stuck on one flavor. So how much should you feed your baby and how often? When you're starting out, start with 1 meal a day. Hi, baby. And if that goes well, you can increase it to 2 or 3 times a day. I think my doctor told me as long as they're eating 3 meals by, I thought she said 9 months, but in the book, Aaliyah says by 1 year. So I'm not 100% sure on that. And make sure that you are breastfeeding and giving the same amount of formula as you were before. If baby turns their head or throws food on the floor or just don't seem interested, then they're probably done. It's totally up to you if you breastfeed or give formula before or after their meals. I would just try both ways and see what your baby prefers. You can also start offering water in a cup. I have with Jack, and sometimes I'll even put it in his bottle. He don't drink a lot, but he will drink a little bit. And try and stick to water and not offer juice or even watered down juice, because it's good to get them liking water, because as a child I did not drink water until I was probably like 20, which is sad. But also juice is high in sugar, and there's not much nutritional value to juice. So I personally started giving Jack frozen fruit in this like little mesh teething feeder thingy. I don't know what you call it, but before even starting solids, I started giving him this because he was teething really bad, and it's frozen fruit, so he really liked sucking on it, and it was obviously sweet. I think I started with strawberries, and then after I'd done mangoes, pineapples, I even done blueberries, but I do not suggest blueberries because they are very, very, very messy and they stain. I should have known that, but silly mistake. And then I introduced cereal. Hey guys, I just want to pause this for a second. I hope that you can hear me, but I want to mention that I chose to use oatmeal instead of rice cereal. I know that there's tons of different options, but I chose oatmeal because there's not much nutritional value to rice cereal, and it can actually constipate your baby. So just keep an eye out for that. And oatmeal is actually good for constipation. So yeah, there's more benefits to oatmeal, and that's what I highly recommend. And And then I started doing, mashed banana and mashed avocado. And then I think I done carrots and squash, potatoes. What else did I do? Apples, pureed, pears. Yeah, I just made sure to mix it up. And I do buy a lot of Love Child Organics pureed pouches, which is Leah's company. So yeah, I use those a lot. So yeah, I think that's all I have to share for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you got some tips out of this and it helped you even the littlest a bit, because I know it can be very overwhelming starting foods. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. There is food all over his face. Bye, guys.